let's start by getting rid of all the uncomfortable questions that I'm sure some of you would ask that I will just answer to begin with. Brad Pitt. Okay. Those of you who might not know this, Brad Pitt made a movie. And it was a brilliant movie, and it was very true to the book, and it was very honest and brilliant and small and personal and intimate. And it was called Moneyball. And we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about another movie, which was very big and had the same title of a book I once wrote. And that's all it has in common, is the title. That does not make it a bad movie. And I know, as an author, it is my job to be very angry. We do that. You're supposed to, in my country, when you become an author, you have to sign an oath to Stephen King, and you have to say, "I hate Hollywood. What have they done?" No. The truth is, the movie was fine. It was what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a very big, exciting, what we call in my country, summer blockbuster. And that is a very specific genre. You know, you have the comedy, the action film, the love story, and then you have the summer blockbuster. And the point of the summer blockbuster is for lots and lots of people to come and give lots and lots of money. And they did that. And they did it well. And good for them. And because it was so different from my book, it was easier to watch. And I don't know if that makes sense, but it is very hard for an author to see your characters on the screen not saying the things they are supposed to say, and not doing the things they are supposed to do. When Stephen King first saw Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining, there was the Overlook Hotel, there was Jack, there was the little boy. And I'm sure he must have said, "What the hell is this?" Because they were not doing what they were supposed to do, and it wasn't the same story. Have you all seen the movie The Shining?
Yes.
Have you all read the book?
Yes.
The old black cook, he doesn't die in the book. He saves them. So it must have been torture for Stephen King to watch that. There must have been a little petite Bastille in his heart to watch that. I did not have that moment because there were no characters from my book. There was only one, the Israeli counterintelligence expert, who I thought was actually very accurate. But nobody else was in it. So they didn't ruin my characters. There was a story, not from my book. They didn't ruin my story. Wasn't there. That wasn't even my zombies. My zombies are slow. These zombies were like just Jesse Owens. Wow. Which is good for a big summer blockbuster movie. I'm happy they made lots and lots of money. So that is the movie by Mr. Brad Pitt. I am not so naive as to understand. My book is weird. It's weird. Okay, I understand. A good story has a hero. I don't have a hero. I have a guy with a microphone. Tell me your story. Weird. A good story has a villain. Someone bad you can hate. No villain. Just millions. Just millions, billions, a plague. A good story has one group that you follow through the whole story. I didn't do that. I have interviews with people from around the world. What kind of shit is that? So I understand that's different and weird, and I understand that it's not so easy for some people to like it, and that's fine. I understand for every one person that goes, oh, what a good book, there's 100 people that go, what the hell is this crap? I don't try to be different. I don't try to be apart. There are people who do that. In my country we call them poseurs. I have to write what is in my heart. And I write to answer my own questions. I have many questions. And unfortunately for me, most of my questions are not answered by many of the books that I read or the movies that I see. So I try to answer them. For example, I used to always wonder, what would I do in a real zombie attack? But all the movies were trying to be interesting and fun and exciting. They weren't trying to be real, because real is boring. Have you ever seen a zombie movie where someone died of dehydration, where they didn't drink water? No, that would be boring. Have you ever seen a movie where someone drank dirty water? They got a parasite and then just poo-pooed themselves to death. You would never see that. You would never see an action film called Cholera. But that is what would really happen in a zombie attack. For every one person killed by a zombie, which is dramatic, and you see it, there would be 100 people who would die of disease, dehydration, starvation, suicide, accidents. There was actually one good scene in World War Z that was not in my book that I wish I had written, where a character who's never held a gun before, never in his life, I think he was European. He was not American, because we all are. And he slips on it, and he slips, and the gun goes off, and he shoots himself. I thought that was brilliant, because in a real disaster, zombie or other disaster, a lot of people are going to die just like that. If there was a real zombie plague, in my country, there are 300 million guns, which means in a real zombie plague, 150 million Americans will accidentally shoot themselves. So that realism is very important to me. And I was looking for a book on how to survive a real zombie plague. And I could not find one. So I thought I would write it for myself, but I never thought it would be published. Because I did not think anyone is interested in what I'm interested in. I still don't. I still don't think that. I'm still, all my life I have been an outsider. I still don't believe that you all bought my book. I think there is a giant warehouse in Arizona with mountains of books, all bought by my father. So that is where I go as a writer. I just try to answer my own questions, because it is a very rare time when I feel like someone is speaking to me. And sometimes people come along and they buy my books, and sometimes they don't, and that's fine, but I don't know how to write popular. I wish I did, believe me. I would be writing, if I did, I would be writing The Adventures of Jerry Lane Part 7 by this point.